All right, guys, let's do this. What up? It's JoJo on the radio. This is the iHeartRadio Countdown. This is a live show, and we got this dude right here looking all good. Benson Boone. Give it up for Benson, you guys.
Thank you.
Benson, I saw you a couple of weeks ago at our K-Con festival, the big K-pop festival.
Yes.
Hope you enjoyed that.
It was very fun. It was very fun.
How you been aside from all that?
I've been pretty good, doing a lot of traveling, a lot of touring, and a lot of shows. But I just as of today, went and got the keys for my new house here.
No
So
kidding.
I'm officially in LA.
Benson, give it up for him. Sure, let's go. Woo! Doing a live show, we might as well. The EP Pulse, obviously it came out in May. I think you said it's sort of like a trailer for your full album, which we'll get to that later on. But describe what you mean by this being the trailer for your full album.
Yes. Well, I obviously experienced a lot of different emotions. I don't always just write sad songs because I'm sad. I don't always just write happy songs because I'm happy. But this was like, I feel like nothing on Pulse is the same. They're all very different songs. And that's how I want my first album to be. And so I wanted to show people, that I can do more than just a ballad. And I think this is truly music that I'm very proud of. And just, yeah.
You're doing a couple of live tracks here. What is the first track you're going to do?
Sugar Sweet. This is kind of it's not one I typically do on just a piano. So I'm going to figure that out. But this is a pretty upbeat song for me, so I'm going to jazz it up a little bit today.
Would you say the album is 60% done, 80% done, 0% done? Where we at?
Oh, that's a great question. I would say the album's like 80% done.
You seem like one of those guys that when you finish a song, you never really finish the song.
Yeah, no, that's
right.
Actually so true. You just opened up a big door, man.
Let's go.
Yeah, every time I think a song is done, I'll release the song and then I'll hear it a couple times and I'll be like,
why didn't I change
why
this
did
or
I
that?
do that, dude?
You're not alone. I've talked to Coldplay. It wasn't Chris that said it. I forget which member of the band, but they said it's hard for them to listen to a song after they put it out because the same thing. Why didn't I change this? Why is this so loud? Why is this so low? It makes them nuts.
And you always listen to your own music differently than anyone else would, so it's just part of it, man.
So this album's coming out in about 3 years?
Give or take, yeah.
Benson, true or false on this? This might be crazy. I'm not sure if you actually do this or not, but after a show, you go out to meet the fans after the show, and you do flips for the fans. There's something about doing flips. What are we doing?
Well, yeah. No, No, well, sometimes. Wow, okay. Yeah, sometimes I'll go out and I'll talk to the fans after, and there's always like one or two people that are like, they've done gymnastics. They're like, hey, will you do a backflip with me? And of course, I'll always do a backflip with somebody. So I'll do a backflip with them. And it's just like a cute little moment. And there was one time that I did that with a girl, and she was just like this, I don't know. I don't really know how old she was. She looked like my age. But she was just so sweet. She came up, she's like, hey, can we do a backflip for a video? And I was like, sure, I'd love to. Can you do a backflip? And she's like, I don't know. And I was like, okay, well, do you want to know if you can do a backflip before we do this? And she's like, no, I'm just going to send it. And I'm like, okay, I love that. Let's do it. And she's like, 3, 2, 1. We do the backflip. And, when I do a backflip, I'm not like looking over at what she's doing. I'm like doing my backflip. And I did my backflip and I landed. I'm like, great. And I look over and she's on her face. And I was like, oh, no, dude. And she actually broke her nose.
Shut up.
So, yeah, it was quite embarrassing, but really funny for me. And I really felt bad. Wow, that makes me sound terrible.
You're a terrible person.
I know. I'm sorry. But no, it was really funny. But I actually felt horrible. I probably should have made sure she could do it.
You know what? Though, new rule. If you're going to do a backflip with Benson in some random parking lot after a show, be able to do a backflip. That's a fair statement.
That's fair.
All right. Whoever the girl is, I hope you're feeling better. And did she take a pic before or after the broken nose?
She did not take a picture before.
Oof.
And she did not take one after either.
Oh my God. Dang.
So,
all right. Benson, do you enjoy life on the road? I know you got off the road just recently with Nikki Orr.
Yeah.
How is road life?
Road life is actually, it is so fun when you have the right people. Like Nicky Yours crew and my band and my friends that were with me, like, okay, I always say that. I always like separate my band and my friends. I am so close with my band. My band, like they are my friends.
Right.
So it was just like a big group of my friends basically in a bus, and we had a blast. Like every day we'd wake up in a different state, or when we were in Europe, a different country, and we would just like go look for a gym, work out. It was really good for me because I don't usually work out. So
Good for you, man.
and then we would just like go, do whatever we want to do, play spike ball, whatever, and then we'd play a show. And it's like that's the best thing you could do.
Any crazy road stories? Because I've talked to so many bands and artists and whatnot. Crazy things happen on the road, like the guys of One Republic when they were in the UK. They lost one of the members. They left them in a city. Things like that.
Yeah, that's
Septic tank breaks on a tour bus. People steal stuff from the bus. Anything along those lines.
Unfortunately, we did remember to take everyone with us. But
Right.
there was one day where we stopped in Boise, and Nicky Yours' dad knew this guy who knew this guy way out in the middle of nowhere. And we had a day off, and we're like, okay, well, we hear he's got a bunch of quads, and like he's just like got a sick trampoline, a bunch of property, dirt bikes. We're dudes. Like,
What could possibly go wrong?
that sounds like heaven. We go out there. It was like a 2-hour drive out here, and we're in the boonies. And we get there, and he's just like, he does have a bunch of ATVs and a bunch of fun stuff. So we're like, sick, this is great. We go, and we're just pinning it down this gravel road. And I'm like, I'm going, and I'm like way ahead of everyone. And I was like, dude, there's no way everyone's this slow. And so I kind of slow down a little bit, and they're like still going slow. So I'm like, whatever. I keep speeding up, and my leg is like getting really hot. My leg's getting really warm, and I'm like, man, it is really hot outside. Like, why is it so hot? And I keep driving. I didn't even look down at my leg. And then I keep going, and I'm like, okay, it's getting way too hot. Something's wrong. I look down, and the whole ATV is on fire.
Dude.
And I missed it. So I got off, and everyone caught up to me, and I was like, hey, guys, the ATV's on fire. And it literally blew up. It wasn't like a huge explosion, but it looked like one of those like little fireworks that's kind of let down when it goes off. It's like one of those kind of things. That was what happened to the ATV, dude. It was crazy.
This is what you
That
do on
would
the
have
road.
been the family jewels, dude.
You'd have been on. Yeah, that'd have been all.
No
all
kids
bad.
in the future for me if I stayed on that, man.
You think some of the guys would have sped up to you and said, "Hey, Benson, you're on fire." But
Yeah, but no, they didn't. They didn't do that.
Man,
well,
those-
they were like way back. They were slow.
that's some terrible friends you got.
Yeah.
Do you need any kind of like water, tea, anything like that to keep? You got water there.
Yeah, I'm all good. I got a little water bottle. Oh, look at that. SoCal Honda dealer's helpful.
Beautiful. Look at that.
Beautiful.
What do you normally drink before like a performance? Some people do the throat coat tea. Some people do,
Whiskey.
perfect.
Just kidding. I'm kidding.
Rock
I've actually never
star.
drank alcohol. A water.
You never drink alcohol before a show, or just never?
I've never done it.
Oh man, good for
And
you.
I'm sticking to that. Well, I'm trying. Everyone is always like, Benson, why are you not drunk? And I'm like, because if I was drunk, I'd die. I'm already a crackhead.
Check with me in 5 years. Let's see how that goes.
yeah.
I wish you the best though.
Thank you.
Benson, time for another live performance. I think we're going to do a song that a lot of your fans know called "In the Stars." Is that correct, sir?
Yes, it is.
You went to go talking to the mic, and he almost talked into the water bottle.
Yes. This next one will be In the Stars. And I think my favorite part about this song, for anyone, that is their first time listening, which is probably most people that are listening, this is a song about someone in my life that passed away that I was very close with. And I think every single person can relate to it. I think every human being at some point in their life loses someone that they love, and it is inevitable. Like Thanos said, you're going to lose people that you love. And this song is kind of how I came to terms with that loss and how I remember the best parts of my grandmother. And, when other people hear this song, obviously I don't want them to think of my grandmother. I want them to, relate it to their own lives and someone that they've lost and someone they can think of and remember. And I know it's helped a lot of people, and I'm very proud that I was able to write this song.
I assume when you first perform this song live. It must have been tough to do. Is it still tough to do if that was the case?
You know, sometimes I do think I don't like actually think I'm a psychopath because I would have a terrible time like actually like going through with killing someone.
Right.
But like sometimes
good.
I do think that I am a psychopath because like every time I perform this song, it's never hard for me to perform. It is actually like one of my favorite songs to perform because I get to watch the faces of so many people that have listened to this song for so long, and they are like their lives are changing because of this song. And like I hear stories from them of like a girl came up to me after a show I did a couple months ago, and she was supposed to be at that concert with her mom, and her mom had passed away the day before that show, and she still came. And so she was just like fully in tears after I played this song. And like I can't imagine what that would be like, but it is such a special experience for me to be able to see that emotion on people's faces when they like actually genuinely connect to this song.
I have a 2-part question for you.
Okay.
Part number 1, what do you consider the best live performance you ever did? I mean, it was just about perfect. Tell me all the details of what happened. And then the complete flip of that, what do you consider your worst live performance? Everything went straight to absolute hell.
Oh, I remember the worst.
Let's go.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I'm going to start with the worst.
Okay.
I'm going to if that's all right. The worst, it wasn't like a vocal performance that was the worst part. It was like I had this show, and Chris, was it the show in Luxembourg that like had all the technical stuff? It was Brussels. I was in Brussels in Europe. I'm on the Europe tour. This is my first tour ever. And this was like, I think the 3rd show of the tour. I was super excited, and I had like a good following there. So it was like, you know, the crowd was pumped. I felt the energy. I was super excited. We'll get in there, and it's like a pretty tight room. I mean, there is no way it was like with regulation, but the people were literally just crammed in there, dude. Like, you know, when you think you've put enough laundry in the dryer and like there's no way that more can fit, but you're just like still going and you're like, this isn't going to do anything, is it? But it's still going in there. It was like that, dude. People were just like standing on top of each other. It was crazy. I get in there, start the show, and like the start of the show is like, I won't give it away because you got to come to a show to see it, but it's crazy. Everyone is like losing their minds at the beginning of the show. Right off the bat, dude, I go in for the first song. Nothing is working except the piano. And Chris plays the piano. So Chris and I had to do, out of an hour and a half of performing, we had to do 37 minutes with just Chris and I on the piano. And 15 of those minutes, the piano didn't even work.
Oh, my God.
So I was doing stand-up comedy, dude. I was standing there. And it just got worse. I was starting off, I was cracking some dad jokes, and I had these people rolling, and I'm like, I didn't even know they spoke English. So it was incredible. And then we get everything going, and everything's going great. And there's like strobe lights, and everything's crazy. And I'm like, wow, there's a lot of strobe lights. I shouldn't say chick. Girl, woman with epilepsy, falls on the ground.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, dude, that is not good. I come off the stage, and she's just like on the ground, and I'm like, dude, what do we do? Picked her up, walked her out, because security was like a bunch of just, like, you know, like, this is the only thing I can think of. You know, like if you think of a pig pen, and you just like run into a pig pen, none of the pigs know what they're doing. They've got mud everywhere. They're just like running around in circles. You're trying to catch them. Like chickens. You can't catch a chicken, dude. They're like so dumb, but like for some reason you can't catch them. That was the security guards at that place, dude. They were just like running around. They didn't know what to do. They just heard someone has a seizure, and they're like running around. I'm like, guys, come on,
take her to the hospital.
Yeah. So we took her out, and like we got her taken care of. I come back in. I get up on the stage. I'm like, sorry, buddy. Make sure you're drinking water. It's really hot in here. I keep performing. Another chick passes out. Another guy passes out. I was like, oh my gosh. Am I this hard to look at? Like, what's going on? It was the craziest thing I have ever seen in my life. And at the end of the night, like 8 people passed out. We had so much technical difficulty. It was ridiculous. But it was actually an incredible show. It really was. So,
wow.
My best show, I actually don't know, and I probably took way too much time answering that question. So, my best, I honestly don't know. Probably Chicago. That's probably when my voice has felt the best it has ever felt. I just I hit every note without straining. It was incredible.
You need to go back to, if you haven't already, to Brussels and like do a redo on that show.
I know, my heart rate is like it just doubled just thinking about it.
Benson, talk about. I love that you told me the story before. Meeting and writing music for the first time with Dan Reynolds of Imagine Dragons.
Yes.
First time you ever wrote music was when you met him, if I recall the story correctly, right?
Yes. Let me tell you about that. Oh gosh. So I've not been singing for very long. I basically discovered I could sing like a little over 3 years ago. Sorry.
This is when you had the I think you performed at your high school
Battle of the Bands.
and nobody knew you could sing until you got on stage, right?
Mhm.
Maybe you knew, I guess.
I didn't actually I knew I could kind of sing, but it was at that show that I really sung for the first time. But anyway, it took me a while to get into writing music. So 2 years ago, after I'd quit American Idol, Dan Reynolds reaches out and he's like, "Hey, I would love for you to come write music with me." And I kind of peed my pants a little bit, and I was like, "Dude,
Right.
what? Okay, sick." And I had never tried to write a song before. I didn't really know how you do it. And it's writing a song is like if you're not confident in your own writing abilities, it's uncomfortable to do that in front of somebody else. If you're I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know. And so
Especially a guy like him, I would
yeah,
think, right?
Yeah. And he lives in Vegas, so I flew, well, he lived, I don't know, whatever. I won't give his address out, but he's in Vegas. I go to Vegas, knock on his front door. His door is the size of this room. And I was like, "Hey man," that's actually not how it happened. He opened the door. I couldn't even speak. He's 6'5", looks like Hulk, but he wasn't green, and he was just so big. And I didn't even know what to do because I didn't think he was going to be that big. So I just kind of oh my gosh. And I don't even think I said hi. I think I literally said, "Oh my." And he just looks at me. He's like, "Hey man, I'm Dan. Nice to meet you." And his hand is the size of my mom's car. And I was like, "Dude."
Was his handshake crushing like Thanos?
Yeah. But so I tried to crush back a little bit, and I think he saw that and laughed. But anyway, we walk inside, and he's like, "Well, dude, how you been?" And he was so nice and welcoming, and his wife was incredible, and his kids are so cute. And we go over to his piano, and he's like, "All right, well, you ready for this?" And I was like, and we just started going, and he taught me a couple things and just made me feel so comfortable. And literally by the first day, I kind of knew what to do. When to write a song. Is
that when you wrote Ghost Town at that session or just after?
No. When I went and did my own session was the first time. It was after that 3 days with him. We wrote this song the first day called, I don't even want to say the name. It's never gonna come out. And it's he had to have been looking at me while I'm writing this, being "Is this a joke? This is so bad." It was not my best song. It's called Good Vibes. See, already from the name, I'm oh.
But overall, that was a phenomenal experience, and it's launched you to where you are now and where you're going. So
yeah,
and
it was incredible.
He's that big, huh?
Dude, I'm telling you, man. I was literally making eye contact with his shin. He's so tall.
Oh my God,
that was a joke. It was more of his mid stomach.
So moral to the story,
maybe upper chest. No, I'm not that tall. Yeah,
Point
I'm
being,
I'm looking right here.
But don't fight him. That's the rule. Don't fight.
And he does jujitsu.
Oh, that's all we need. All right, Benson, we talked about this in the past, and you know this about me. We talked about this at KCON the other day. I am obsessed with the paranormal.
Dude, yeah.
Ghost, UFOs, all this stuff. We've got a podcast called Paranormal-ish. I mean, I'm off the deep end, clearly. You said last time after we had this paranormal discussion that you've become a bit of a paranormal enthusiast, a.k.a. nut job too, right?
Well, yeah, I think I was already a nut job. But I think, so when we had this interview, everyone at the station was telling me, they're "Yeah, dude, JoJo's super into ghosts and stuff."
Right.
And I was like, "Oh,
they would be right.
Is this classified information?" And they're like, "No, it's just it's crazy." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And I had just never even looked into that stuff. And it's not I do that all the time on my free time. But I remember after I did the interview with you, I was like that night I went to my hotel room and I was like, "Ooh, should I look up something?" And then I started watching these ghost videos and I was like, "Dude, they're real."
Some bizarre
Anyway,
stuff, right?
but then it like turned into like looking at videos about like the pyramids and all that, and now I just like don't think I know anything because like everyone has it figured out except me. So
well, the reason I ask a lot of artists this, well, for one, this is what I'm into, but two, you guys go to a lot of different hotels,
yeah,
and I guarantee you, probably more than half of them have a bit of a history. Look out for room 310. Watch out for the 7th floor. Have you ever seen anything in in your travels? Or if you do, remember it and tell me.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you if I do. I'll start asking the lobby. I'll be like, hey,
Please.
is there like a room I could stay in where like I might not come back?
Do that.
Okay.
Do that. Benson, I think you said 2023 is a new era for your music. It shows a different side of you, a side that people aren't used to. Walk me through some of that, what that means, all that good stuff.
Well, I think, I mean, this goes for any artist. I think my taste in music and in the music that I write will always be developing. And I don't know. I think like something over the past couple months has just kind of clicked a little bit more, and I'm writing songs I think that are better than any songs I've ever written. So that's kind of what I meant. I'm just like really excited for people to hear better songs.
Is writing music kind of like a muscle? You work out, you get,
For sure.
more fit in that area?
Yeah, I do think so. I think like the more you practice writing, the more comfortable you get and the better you get at writing. But I think like a lot of people, it's usually Uber drivers that I'll talk to, dude. It's like these guys for some reason think they've got it all figured out. And I'm like talking to this Uber driver and he's like, so you write all your stuff by yourself or what? And I'm like, yeah, I write like all my ideas by myself. And then I bring them to other guys in the studio. And he's like, oh, you bring them to other guys just like everybody else, huh? And I'm like, no, dude. What is that supposed to mean, Frank? What do you mean by that? And he's like, I don't know. Usually if you do it with other people, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, no, I don't think that's true. I think when you work with other people, it helps expand your view on music because like everybody has a different side of things. And I work with this guy. His name's Jack LaFrance. Favorite guy to work with. And I'm very close to him. We're just like really good friends. But like, I love working with him because he isn't pushy. He lets me guide and direct where the song is to be written. But then he'll like give me these little ideas. Like it's like if the devil on your shoulder was like doing good things.
Right.
It's like that where he's like giving me like these good little ideas and places I can improve. So I think it's good to work with other people and like expand your view on music.
Was your Uber driver Sylvester Stallone by any chance?
Dude, yes.
Yo,
how
Rocky.
you doing? Wait, that was Joey.
Right. Benson, have you ever been starstruck?
Yes.
Who did you meet? What happened? All the details.
John Bellion. There's this artist, his name is John Bellion, and I'm a huge fan. He's the first concert I ever went to, and like after I saw that concert, dude, I was so inspired by him. I think he's incredible. His music is incredible, the way he writes. And my team reached out to me one day. Wow, that sounded so official. My manager called me when I woke up one morning,
Right.
and he's like, dude, we got something big. And I was like, sick. What did we get? He's like, you have a week with John Bellion.
No.
At his house. Dude, I cannot tell you. I was like laying it. I won't go into detail. It's weird. But I was so excited. I was so excited. And I got to work with him and like meet his family. And when I met him, like I don't think I ever thought I would be starstruck by anybody. I think like him and Harry Styles are the only two people I'd ever be starstruck by. Gosh, Harry Styles is so handsome.
He's a good-looking man.
He's a good-looking dude.
Let's keep it real, yeah.
Man. Anyway, but if I were to meet, no, when I met John Bellion, dude, he just walked right up to me. He's like the coolest guy, like completely down to earth. Like it was just incredible to talk with him. But like I had so much trouble like trying to think of what to say when he was talking to me. I like everything I said for the first hour. I was like, was that cool? Did I sound cool when I just said that? And I was like, dude, I sound like an idiot right now. He's like asking me, he's like, hey, how you doing, man? And I'm like, nice, man. Nice, bro. I was just so stressed about everything I was saying, and there's no way he thought I was normal. But like after the first day, after I realized that he's just like human being. I just had the best time with him. He's so cool.
You got a chance to spend. This guy's your idol. And you got a chance to spend a week with him in his house. I mean, that's career and life changing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Your family, your friends, your inner circle has been with you forever. What's their reaction to the success you've had so far? Still a lot to do. I get that, but
yeah.
What's been their reaction?
Man, it depends. It depends on what group. Like my family has been so accepting and cool and just like very supportive about everything. And I think, like sometimes I have wonderful parents, by the way. Like I am so grateful for them and very blessed to have like a good relationship with them. And like when I moved out on my own and was like, Mom, I'm gonna quit American Idol and actually like do music. Because when I was doing American Idol, I was just like, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was going to college,
but still, that must have been scary. And we've talked about this in the past, and you've told the story several times, obviously. To quit American Idol, you walked out on a big opportunity. You were taking a chance. It's paid off. But that had to have been pretty scary for everyone involved,
Yeah, and like I remember I told my parents that, and they were like, you know what? If that's what you think is best, then we are so on board with that. And actually, a couple months ago, my mom was like, Ben, we were not on board with that. We thought that was dumb, but it worked out, so we're happy. But like they're just so like they want me to do what makes me happy, and so I'm very grateful for that. And then my friends, like, man, it's just been like an opportunity for my friends. Like really, I just see it as an opportunity to get them out on the road with me and to like spend more time with them. And obviously like doing music and having these songs has got me more than I did when I was landscaping. So like I can like like treat them well, and it's really cool for me to weird sometimes, but like just I'm very grateful to be able to help them.
Let me ask this: when you have friends go on the road with you,
yeah,
how do they get time off of work? Do
well,
they just take like a month off, or maybe they don't take a month. Maybe they'll go. Maybe they don't stay that long with you. I don't know.
It's kind of been perfect because we're all like, I'm still in like the college age,
Right.
Like I would be in my third year of college right now. I think maybe. I don't know. I haven't been to school in so long. I don't do math anymore. But like one of my friends who is my photographer, his name's McLean. He like, dude, I think he's like a random super genius, but like you wouldn't think so. You would think he's like totally dumb when you meet him, but he's not. He's really smart. And he like graduated college when he was 18, and he's like has his real estate whatever thing, and he just like does everything, and he takes photos, and so he just like can take time off whenever he wants because he pays his family's bills, and he's just a beast.
Good for him.
Yeah, and then my other friend Jacob is like the opposite, and he just like does whatever, and he just like comes with me, and he's like, this is great, and I'm like, yeah, this is great. We're all having fun. This is great. Let's blow up an ATV. And they're like, cool.
Perfect. Benson, quick recap. The EP Pulse is out. In the Stars is huge. New album coming soonish. You never gave me a date. Is there a target time?
That's the sound of me zipping my lips,
Top
breaking the
secret.
key, looking at my manager, winking at him, throwing the key away.
Because if you say anything, he will punch you in the skull. What else do people need to know about Benson Boone? Benson Boone.
I'm not just a singer. I'm not just an artist. Most of my life, this is not what I thought I was going to do.
What do you think you were going to do? What landscaping, you mentioned that earlier? Or?
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to landscape the rest of my life, to be honest. But I was going to college for like architecture and interior design. Even with that aside, I love the outdoors. I love the mountains. I love backpacking and hiking and cliff jumping and snowboarding and skiing and sports. And I just like I hope that this goes well. And whether it does or doesn't, I'm just enjoying life. I think life is a blessing, and it's good to be here. So thank you for supporting my music and listening to it. And I hope you've enjoyed these live songs. And thank you so much.
Benson, good to see you, man.
Good to see you, JoJo.
At the end of every interview, fist bump to make it official. Give me a little bam! Love for Benson Boone, you guys.
Bam!
Yeah!